Hi guys, so this will be my review of the newest Boku no Hero chapter. I can't remember what number it is, but it's in the title. You'll have guessed it at this point. And it was quite a simple chapter, enjoyable and important and interesting, but I think it was also quite simple. We start off with the committee of people who make these exams. Basically saying that, okay, we need to change the exams because these people told us to do so, because, of course, All Might has been taken down, and we need to kind of fill the gap that he left behind, because All Might was, of course, the #1 hero, and the gap between him and Endeavor was just such a big thing that losing All Might was, of course, like a blow to the, I was about to say the wizarding world, but no, the hero world, and just how the hero structure worked in Japan, because All Might was the symbol of peace, and when that's gone you kind of need to do something, if not crime rates will just go up, and that's not a good thing, of course. And so they figured that what they need to do is to train heroes to work together in teams, because teams, of course, have better chances at doing work that a really strong hero could usually do alone. So by training these heroes to work together, we might have a chance of doing what All Might could do by himself. And that's kind of why we had the ball exam in the first phase, because that allowed people to quickly figure out, okay, we need to move in groups, we need to find the people that we want to work with, so that the chaos that is currently forming, because you literally have these balls just being thrown around and just people attacking the UI students, of course, and it's just a huge mess. But if you work together, you can kind of choose who are defending, who are capturing, who are putting targets everywhere, and it's just like how Deku worked with Uraraka and Zero, where they captured the people who were attacking them even though they were greatly outnumbered, but they still managed to win and get their pass to the second phase of the exam. And that's kind of also what the second phase entails, because yeah, okay, you need to be able to rescue people and be able to see, okay, this is why you should do this and this and this, and you might be able to move in smaller groups, but you still have to work together. So you have people who form these rescue places, and you have the people who rescue people, and then you have the people who will take care of the villains whenever they go in, and of course work together. And I just want to refer to something that King of Lightning and Zoro Fanboy, they were doing their live reaction of the previous, it was their series, they were doing their live reaction to the previous Boku no Hero Academia, and they brought up a point that this phase of the exam is basically where we'll see what kind of hero each person will be, because they'll be the people who'll find out that rescuing people is their forte, whereas other people will find out that fighting villains is their forte. So of course, like a person like Kachan, they'll be the fighting type, but someone as Atsui or Tsuyutsian or whatever you call her, she'll probably be more the rescue thing. I brought this up 1 or 2 chapters ago that I think she, and I should have checked up on this, I've got the volume right there, but she said in one of the first chapters we met her that she was kind of the rescuing type, and she wanted to rescue people from disasters. So yeah, we'll probably see some kind of thing there, that some people will be rescuers, some people will be fighters, and some people might be somewhere in between, because as they also brought up in their live reaction, a person as Deku might be kind of both. So yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Of course, the other really interesting thing that happened in this chapter was the obvious conflict and tension between Inasa and Todoroki. Because as we find out, Inasa was, or is probably, he looks up to heroes a lot, and they're kind of like, they're the hot of this world. And one time when he reached out to Endeavor, wanted to get his autograph, he turned him away, and from that point on he's kind of had this secret, or not a secret, hatred for Endeavor. And as Todoroki points out, apparently there are a lot of those people, which kind of makes sense, because Endeavor is not really a person who inspires charm and charisma, such as All Might was, which is again something they point out at the beginning of this chapter, that in terms of both strength and charm, All Might was #1, because he had that thing, people could go to him, he'd smile, he's a very lovable guy, Where Endeavor, yeah, he's strong, sure, but not really as charismatic. And we also see that Inasa, despite hating Endeavor, he still reached out to Todoroki, but that was a time where he was dealing with some serious things at home and just internally, so of course he also turned Inasa away, and then, I mean, now Inasa just hates both of them, but even though he experienced them both at, like, their worst or whatever, especially Todoroki, he experienced him at his worst, but he still put him in the same category as Endeavor, which, I mean, is kind of unfair because Todoroki has changed, but then again, he wouldn't know that. For all he knows, Todoroki is still the same as before. But this will be kind of a test to Todoroki as well, because he has been distancing himself from his father, and he's been accepting his powers, and just accepting himself more. And he has changed, but I think when you have a person bringing stuff up that he really does, like, he is his father's son, like, there is that resemblance, or at least there was, I think that'll be really conflicting for him, so I'm really interested to see how much Todoroki has grown and how he'll respond to this, because we see that when they try to work together, it just completely blows up, because when Todoroki uses his fire and Inasa uses his wind at the same time, it just completely, like, it doesn't work, and it comes to a point where Todoroki's flames are just blown out of the way and into one of the contestants whose name I've just forgotten, but please forgive me. And in the end, Deku has to come and save this guy, and it's like, what are you guys doing? You're literally doing nothing of value, because the villain is right there and yet you attack the fellow hero. And this is, again, a true testament to what it's like on the battlefield, because yeah, you might not like this guy, you might have to work with a person like Endeavor. I mean, again, Todoroki is not Endeavor, but you may have to work with a person like that, and you have to see that even if you hate this guy's guts and you just hate everything about him, there are bigger problems, aka the villain who's trying to kill everyone. So yeah, there's that. I think overall, the conflict between Todoroki and Inasa is what really takes this chapter, and we'll probably see Deku do something in the next chapter, but I think that we'll have our main focus on Todoroki. Because while I have said before that I'd like to put Todoroki kind of, I mean, I like Todoroki, don't think that I don't, but it's just, he usually finds a way to get the spotlight somehow in every arc, and again, I do like him, but sometimes I want to see other characters. I want to see, yeah, of course we have Deku and Kacha, as I said, but I want to see other people than Todoroki, Ida, and Uraraka, because those three get a lot of spotlight. So yeah, I'd like to focus more on the other people, but we do need to see this kind of internal conflict that Todoroki has going on. We need to see either an end to it, or he needs to kind of like have a definite answer to his problems, or we need to see at least some progress, because when we go back to the summer festival where Deku first brought these things up and he started thinking more, and he was like, okay, I need to kind of take things in and start looking at things differently, and we had then when he went to the I'm gonna call it the Stain arc. The arc going mid-Stain where they had to choose a a hero office where they had to like work for a week or whatever. He chose Endeavors because, yeah, of course, he's his father and he hates him, but he kind of separated himself from that and was like, okay, this is actually the second best hero Japan has to offer, because All Might is obviously a teacher and he doesn't, yeah, he has his hero office, but that wasn't an option for him. This was the best hero he could work under. So we see some progress there, and we also have some progress with him meeting his mother again, and all of these things, but I don't think, and memory might fail me at the moment, but I don't think Todoroki has had a point yet where he's like, this is my answer, this is the path that I'm taking. I think he's still kind of finding that, because yeah, he's been using his fire again, and he's accepted that yes, this is his own power, but he still has these troubles with his father, and I actually don't think, this is something we don't know, but this is just my own headcanon. I don't think he's been talking to his father, like, at all on a, like, father-son level, because this might sound weird, but Endeavor has to be a somewhat redeemable person. He's not evil, he is a hero. And yeah, as we know from Stain and what we've seen on multiple occasions, some heroes, and possibly like 90% of the heroes in their day and age, they do they are heroes not because they want to save people, because it's a viable career. It's a career where they can use their quirks in a good way and not be scolded for it, because, yeah. So yeah, he's probably one of those people that Stain is not really a fan of, but he's probably still a good person somewhere deep, deep in there. And yes, he did abuse his child, and he did a lot of awful things, but somehow Todoroki, I think he's strong enough to kind of help his father. Of course, I'm not saying that we need to get into that soon, but what I want to see in Todoroki, basically, is for him to find a path, or at least start finding a path where he's like, okay, this is what I want to do. So yeah, I kind of need that. Going back to the teamwork though, I think it's really important that we're setting the stage where we just have people who can't work together, because setting aside Inasa and Todoroki, we have other people who are very villain fighting types, such as Kachan and Deku, who really can't fight together. They did it that one time with All Might, but since then a lot of shit has happened. And while I do think that all the shit that has happened has gone in a better direction for the two of them, like we have Kachan finally talking to Deku a few chapters ago, asking whether he made the power his own. And we know that both Deku and Kachan, they observe each other and they steal techniques from each other, and they do admire each other. And while they have bad history, them working together would be very beneficial. Like, they are the Wonder Duo. And while we might not see them work together of their own free will in the next many chapters, and with many chapters I'm talking like 50 plus or something, I don't know, 50 is maybe a bit much, taking that this isn't One Piece, this is a Boku no Hero which is going at quite a fast speed, but still, not in this arc at the very least, but we might see them work together because they're kind of forced to, because they have the pressure of, okay, this is an exam, and Kachan is a very smart character, in case you have forgotten, and he might be able to figure out, okay, this is a teamwork exam. If I don't work with Deku, I might get minus points and I need to get this hero license. Like, he'll take it as a big blow if he doesn't get this license, because he's all about winning. And Deku, of course, a bit more of a reasonable person, would not be against working with Kacha, and I think it's kind of one of his weird dreams that he has, that he wants to work with him, because he's always looked up to him, and working with him would finally put him on that pedestal where he's always put Kacha on. And I don't think I said that right, but I'm just blaming it cold here. But yeah, I think overall that's what I have to say about this chapter. It's really good. We're doing some great things with Todoroki, even though I did say that I didn't want to see more of him. But we need to conclude his internal character arc so we can put him on that path that he needs to. So yeah, we need this to set him up some great character development and then just send him off into the wild. And then we need some things with Deku and Kachan, because Kachan will obviously go straight towards the villain, because then he won't have to save anyone, and we all know that that's not really his thing. I mean, he just yelled at those people in the last chapter, so yeah. I'm gonna stop here. Feel free to leave in the comments below if I missed anything, because I might have. For those of you who don't know and is wondering why I'm sounding so weird and why I'm wearing a lot of clothes, it's because I'm still a little ill. I caught a cold like 2 days ago, which is why there have been no content on my channel, except for that one video where I literally uploaded me watching Haikyuu while I was ill, so yeah. But yeah, that's why this is late and everything, but yeah. If you liked anything I said, you can leave a thumbs up on the video, leave in the comments below if I missed anything, or what you think of what happened, what you think of what I discussed in this review. And yeah, hopefully next week I'll be back with a live reaction. And yeah, I guess you can subscribe if you want to see more. I usually do reviews of One Piece, Shokugeki no Soma, Haikyuu, the manga, Boku no Hero Academia, obviously, and I do weekly videos on One Piece and Haikyuu, the anime. These are reviews, these are just me talking about them. There should be a video on both these today, hopefully, unless I like die or something. But yeah, until next time guys, bye!